Good evening all, how are we getting on? Welcome to another round of IIRL No Assists here. We are doing a sprint race in Belgium tonight, so we're off to the least relaxing spa you've ever been to, depending on how relaxing you find circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. We are moments away from getting going. Obviously our format in terms of sprint race is a short qualifying session, 18 minutes, followed by an 11 lap race, 25% obviously there. We then obviously jump out and we remake the 50% lobby and use the grid from the 25% to determine the race, and that's just down to obviously the glitches in EA's system because they're never perfect, of course. So here we are, all readying up and getting ready to go. So, getting ready to go. There we go, 23 seconds left. My screen's tiny. Why is my screen tiny? Okay. Let's see, how are we all getting on tonight? How is everybody doing? What are we predicting for tonight? What are we thinking? More of the same or something a little bit different tonight? See where we are, obviously. Should have, let's see how many we should have.
Verstappen became the youngest winner of a GP at just 18 years and 228 days old.
Okay, so we are dry in this one to begin with. We should have 17 drivers around tonight. We of course have 16. Top Gun will be joining us later on, from what I can tell.
Managed to finish 81% of his races on the podium in 2021. Still though, Michael Schumacher holds the record for highest percentage when in 2002.
Getting on TD ready and ready and waiting for Aston Martin to come out of the pits first of all.
Some even approaching the sub 2 second mark. But what about the longest?
There he is. Jack's going to be out on his way, but 1010 is actually first out today. Obviously, the short quali format obviously is likely to mean that a few other people can get a lap extra in or run extra in. Of course, it is always difficult around here, but let's say with it being such a long lap, but for the rest of drivers, definitely 2 runs will be possible at least. And Johnny B, welcome in, cozy up. This is Spa. What a brilliant track this always is as well. 10-10 kind of feathering his way around to begin with. What he's got as he obviously warms up to get going, and it should be the Mercedes driver who puts the first lap on the board. Barring any hitches, of course. So he's still obviously waiting for that out lap to be finished, and we should be able to get things going now. Smaller Smiley's already binned it. Smaller Smiley has binned it on the out lap at no name. Oh. Well, Smaller Smiley starting from the back on the sprint race. We are underway on 10-10's flying lap. Going up to Rouge and Radion. The full-on aggression looks in control of that car there. Smashing it down the Camel Straight. Let's see what we've got there at. Okay, and I'm going to produce my track map with all the corner names on in a moment. A few of them, of course, but Belgium's hard to keep up with. And here's where Smaller Smiley went off at no name. 10-10 looked a little bit wider of the curb on that one, but you don't always want to be riding that all the way through. One of that beautiful little constant left flick that was. Good lap to watch on board so far. Looking like he will set the pace 10-10. Just in one little bit of traffic just going through the bus stop at the moment, but it should clear. That should clear him nice and easily. Keep it clean in these last two. Takes enough curb on that first part of the bus stop and throttles it to line. DRS open, and your benchmark is a 141.7 to get you going. There we go. We are in business there, and obviously Joseph Hales, Mr. Wiggles, and that guy have all been through. John goes fastest by just nearly a couple of tenths from 10-10, and Ryan, first time I think we've seen him in this league driving Padge's McLaren. Goes up to fourth on 42.6 there. Adam Ski. I think I'll call him Adam. At 146.2 there, I would imagine there's possibly been a little bit of a loss of control in that lap. And we're starting one. We've got Greg on one at the moment. Let's follow Greg and see what he can do there. TD went out and went straight back into the pits. So. Okay, that would explain it. Bit of a ding dong with Wiggles. There we are. Running down now with Greg through Blanchimont. What has he got on this particular run? It's like a potentially slightly slower one. Good amount of curb, and again, just obviously careful on the throttle. A little bit of a wiggle, a little bit of back end stepping out, but gets to 7th, 43.2. Deflated obviously in all that has put himself between 10-10 and John there, so 41.6 the tail end of. Speaking of Alfa Romeo drivers, let's pick up the Sun God. Going through Pouon there. Trying to keep it nice and stable for himself there. The Alpine keeps well out of the way there. Shouldn't have affected him through Stavolo there. Until the track maps come up now. Oh, smaller Smiley. Oh dear. Twitch of pain made your right leg jump on the throttle. Oh no. I've never seen the like. Sun God goes deep into bus stop there. Definitely going to compromise him all the way through. 9th as a result, but I'd imagine there's quite a lot of time lost in that, just as they came in a bit too deep down the side, or down the into the bus stop. Probably would have lost a good half second at least, I'd have said there. So we've got a few drivers out who are sort of finishing laps at the moment. We have got TD and Novi on track looking to start one. We've obviously got Smaller Smiley not on track, or bits of Ferrari strewn across the track as a result of that unexplained switch. See TD there after a little bit of a ding dong on the opening attempt at getting a lap in. We'll be looking for a slightly cleaner run on this one. Follow him as he gets that going there. Very tight line, almost cutting the first part of the bus stop. Powers towards La Source to get the lap going. Okay. Through there. Not really picking up any wiggles or anything like that there, TD. See what sort of pace he produces, I think. Because this could be... we can link this up. Could be quite good. Looked like a little bit of a skid kind of through Eau Rouge and Radion. Or just up the hill there. Toward Lake Holm now. Yeah, a little bit like 10-10s. Just taking a little bit of curb, not as aggressive through there. Very good through there and keeping it on the track through No Name Corner. That looked pretty aggressive. Looks fairly safe, I would say. As well through the double left-hander at Pouon. Seems to be on it though, TD here. I would say there's a good amount of pace going on at the moment from him as everyone starts or seems to be starting second runs here. TD is looking to get one time on the board, and the time looks like it's going to be quite good if he can just keep it right through these last couple of corners. What can TD produce for us? He's gone to 4th there, within touching distance of 10-10 as well. Good lap from TD there. Just 0.03 of a second away from the Mercedes driver. 10-10. Not for too much longer, I'd imagine, because 10-10's on a lap and is improving a little bit. A very good run there from TD. Gets himself in the hat, but there's still a lot of this qualifying session to go. 7.5 minutes remaining. Let's follow 10-10 round. Taking a lot of curb on Blanchimont there. And up toward the bus stop. Very nicely done there, good line. And up towards the finish line. Takes fastest for now, 41.4. Jumps John, who is also on a lap. So Joseph Hale's got there. 3rd place as he crosses the line. Next, I think, is Towery getting going. We have a couple of cars waiting to cause that yellow flag there. Play that through John and I think another Alpine through there. Let's see what John's got though as he approaches the final part of the lap. Like this is kind of where the duel is for pole position at the moment between these two. John and 1010 yet again going after it, and John's still got a bit of a deficit to make up in the championship, so we'll be looking to get as much of a jump as he possibly can here. And retakes the provisional pole by just over a tenth again there, John. 41.3, and the times are coming down and the track is ramping up. So deflated has invalidated. And the next pass has gone into the pits. 1010 is on track, but not going very quickly. That mean that should have Ryan, I believe, next through to the line. We've got a fairly decent tow from the Alfa Romeo and the Mercedes down there. Let's see what he can produce. To 7th, just jumps that guy's teammate. 42.0 there, jumping right onto the back of the, or right onto the front of those in the 142s. Anyone in the 141 has cleared it by a couple of tenths, so they're definitely doing well there. Let's see what that guy has got. I think he's recharging by the looks of that, coming in. Is an AlphaTauri there, that is Prev. It's invalidated. Novi is about to start one there. Let's see what Novi can do. So, one of two drivers who are remaining in the session who have yet to set a lap. Obviously, Small Smiley won't be setting a lap on an outlap crash on No Known Corner. Novi waving the apex goodbye at the source as he comes through there. Powers up towards Eau Rouge, Radion. Looks decent, clean enough through there. And toward the Kemmel Straight with the DRS open. Quick right, left. Into Ocon, be reasonably patient on the throttle out of there. A bit of a shake on it. And then comes out Malmedy. And along this long, and again, a lot of patience needed on that right-hander. Through to No Name. Flipping a bit of curb. Doesn't mind that though. Helps the car round. The approach is Pouon. Really throwing it in there. Back end looking slightly unstable on that. Tends to be usual for an Alpine, that one, I think, though. Always got a rear wing wobbling around somehow, but through this little right and left, and again, have to be very, very patient on when you get off the steering input on that one. A lot of patience needed on this track. Long, long lap. Novi looks like, besides that little moment out of Lecom, kept it relatively clean here. Chamont there now, obviously doesn't really attack the curb. Just for survival on that one. Goes towards the bus stop. There's just enough curb on those. And a little bit of a shake out of bus stop, easy to do there. It comes up to 8th place with 42.5, and there's still going to be a bit of time in that for Novi, you'd imagine. But equally, I don't think he's going to get round for another one with just 2.5 minutes left to go in this session. And have some drivers starting final laps, and we have some drivers cutting it very, very fine to start a final lap here. Got 1010, Deflated, TD, Wiggles, Ryan, Flamingo Eagle, all still in pit. As I say, I don't think Novi will get another one unless he's going to do it on that same set, but he's already flashing for fuel. A few more drivers now creeping out the pits. 1010 and Ryan, as well as Flamingo Eagle, Novi's teammates, still in the pits. That guy is going to be the first to get us going for this final run though. A minute and 56 left on the clock. He crosses the line and we'll get our runs going here. So that guy there has dropped off in the last couple of the races just in terms of the sort of the performances, the results for him. He's looking to get himself back on track. Needs a lap a touch better than a 42.5. Make sure he can start as far up the grid as he can for that sprint race. and runs it very, very wide. Has kept that lap. Just out of the con there. Jumping so far onto the AstroTurf that the game has decided you didn't get an advantage from it. Throws it through No Name there. Looks like it just had a little bit of a squirm on the curbs, that McLaren. And really throwing it in again and gone miles wide. Has still kept the lap somehow. There's been a couple of track limits violations on this one, but it's still going, and that lap is still somehow valid. Let's see what he can produce. Getting as close as he possibly can on the track limits for that one as well, on that right-hander. Power up towards Blanchimont and see what he can get out of this. Imagine it could have been a little bit quicker. There'd have been a couple of lifts in there, I'd imagine. But toward the bus stop, that guy will be first through to complete his final run, and he won't as he's in the pits. The 10-10 will get one going. It's going to be close for him. Adam will then be through to the line first of all. Runs it well wide at bus stop, keeps the lap, gets rather squirmy on the throttle, but does improve by 1.6 seconds, still at the back though there. I've got Greg on track. He's through and done at a 11th place there. Then it will be Prev. A couple of good qualifyings from Prev there. Up to 11th on this one though. What else have we got on track? Novi is all done. Flamingo Eagle is all done. We have got John looking to extend his advantage. 10-10 is currently out on track there. I think there's an Aston Martin stopped in a slightly strange place. Let 10-10 by, but John, what can he produce? Can he make this as difficult as possible for 10-10 to get the pole position? The Haas driver comes through with a 40.9. He's blitzed into the 140s. Absolutely cracking lap that from John. Our first driver into the 140s there. Fantastic from the Haas driver. Mr. Wiggles next through to the line. And set a rather high bar here. What can he produce? Goes third on a 41.5. This is going to get interesting. It's not done yet. Got Joseph's gone up to second on a 41.4. Deflated through on a 41.6. 10-10 through to the bus stop chicane is about a 10th up, but it's not going to be enough for him to get John. Comes on through, second place it is. Improvement by about a 10th and a quarter there. Adam's going to finish that lap. And that, barring TD, means we are done, but TD will come in. It's the pits on there. So John takes the pole position. What is he on? What is he on? 40.9. Cracking lap indeed. Joseph, I think you probably ought to test him, you know. Well, that is an absolutely cracking lap from John to take the sprint pole. We'll obviously be looking to capitalise on that. He's clearly got some very, very good pace around this track. So it is John taking the pole. We've got 10-10 in second and Joseph in third there. Mr. Wiggles jumped up fourth with Deflated staying fifth. TD into sixth there in the Aston Martin. Good lap again from him. Another good qualifying there. Ryan, first time we've seen him, is in seventh place. Novi in eighth. That guy ninth. Flamingo Eagle 10th. Prev 11th. Obviously down toward the bottom. Adam obviously did get a lap in and ended up within a couple of tenths of the field. And Smaller Smiley had that outlap crash on No Name corner. So didn't manage to get any kind of lap in there. So Joseph is reporting rain in sprint. So Potentially could then look a little bit wet a little bit later on, but for now it does look quite dry. So we will go at 57. We have a short break now between now and when the race starts. Only the last slot is rain, so it might then start to get a little bit interesting towards the end. So it could be a fun one as we hit the end of this particular sprint race. It was only 11 laps long, so I imagine it would come in the last sort of lap and a half anyway. Okay, so we're just waiting to get going for these drivers here. Ryan, last race in season 3. Adam obviously is brand new, but like I say, obviously, first appearances this season for both. Obviously, Adam will take a little bit of time to obviously get up to speed with the league racing type thing. He will only improve, you'd imagine. So it would be fairly good for him, I would imagine, just to get a few races under his belt, a few laps under his belt for this one. There we go, we are on the grid. We do have formation lap on, so we'll be able to have a little bit of a look at who is on what particular tyres and what sort of strategies we're going for. Anyone rolling the dice on this? We do have Mr. Wiggles rolling the dice, as well as Novi and Prev, all starting on the softs. Now let me tell you, it is a real job to get any sort of a soft tyre anywhere near double figures on a lap or in laps on a race like this. I think medium tyres probably is the good call. As I say, there's a couple of dice rolls in there. So we'll be getting things up to temperature, getting everything done as they need to. 1010's pretty much sticking to the back of John. Kind of a do what he does kind of thing. It is possibly a tactic, I'd imagine, from the Scotsman. He's still approaching the back of this. It does look like it's possibly tactical. 1010. He is stuck with the back of that Haas all the way through this formation lap. Imagine that feels slightly uncomfortable for John. Get them all lined up on the grid and see how we end up with this.
One of the longest broadcasted races, also one of the shortest. 2021 Belgium Grand Prix lasted only 3 minutes and 27 seconds. The race being...
And here we go. So we are on the grid. The lights are going on. And there's a jump start for that guy. So drive through straight off the bat in 9th place there. As we get us going. And the Aston Martin of Joseph Hales is down the inside, muscling John off the track and through into the lead. With a better exit for the Haas driver who last source and might look to go alongside on Eau Rouge, trying to get a better line. Got a little bit of a wider drive out there from the Williams, but Joseph, I think, is about to get swamped by two drivers who have got a slightly lower wing setup. Joseph hangs it to the outside, keeps the lead for now in this sprint race to begin with. 10-10 is in second, having got past John down the Kemmel Straight. We have got Sungod and Jay Clates at the back, and all changed down there as Wiggles, and there is a Haas there of John, who is off, and they look like they have been together on that particular piece of road. Goes round that long right-hander. Wiggles down to 10th. That's a gamble for him that has not paid off too well, but John is off the track. And the favourite for the victory, the championship contender, is pretty much out of it here. Joseph Hales leads us, 10-10 is in second. We've got Deflated in third, and then Ryan has made his way up to 4th place in among all that carnage. And we have got Wiggles, I think, off round again. By the looks of that, I think he has just pulled off the track to keep out of the way. John goes powering past. I think he'll get going again. There we go. But Joseph leads lap 1 on those mediums. So we've got a bit of a glitch on the stream there, so we'll just have to bear with the fact that 10-10 is currently showing as being 1 minute and 45 behind Joseph. That's not the case, I promise you. You can see him right here. And he is looking like he is going to be passed down the Kemmel Straight with relative ease, Joseph. We know he's running slightly higher wings. Expecting some rain. He's going to throw it to the inside though. Mounts the curb on the inside. And with that extra downforce is still able to hang it out and keep it into the lead. Santan's going to need a little bit more of an exit from Eau Rouge than that. It's Deflated now. It's all crawling all over the back of that Mercedes. Joseph still going, still in the lead. As I say, no way to tell of any interval there. But I can tell it's close behind him, and all that extra downforce is only going to help him through this next sector. He keeps hold of that lead. Ryan's still clinging on well to the back of Deflated, looking for a podium spot here. John didn't come into the pits. He has made it already up to 14th place, and that guy has already been in for his drive 3. And he's made it to the back of the pack already. I'd imagine Adam wouldn't give him too much of a difficult ride there. Teammate, I would guess, would let him through. Joseph has got to get almost every turn absolutely spot on from this point. That's Prev and Novi, and that is a Aston Martin, and that is TD, who has ended up round. Smaller Smiley, by the way, from the back up to 8th place already. Fastest lap as well, not anymore. John with a 45.2 taking that there. Still camping in behind Adam though. Imagine he wouldn't want to sit there for too long at all. I think he gets him with a better exit out of that source. No real worries at all on there. And Mr. Wiggles comes in, retires from the race, and 10-10 has taken the lead. much, much easier this time, as Deflated also takes Joseph Hales for second place. So Joseph has pretty much lost those 2 slots in as many corners and could end up going backwards if he's not careful here. Unless he can produce another flying middle sector with that setup on. 10-10 looking now to get as many points as he possibly can with John down the field here. That Mercedes is going to be going like the clappers to the final lap on here to that checkered flag. And that seems to have sorted the interval part out as well there. So 10-10 is in the lead, and all the intervals seem relatively normal on my timing screen as well, which will help us all out there. Joseph, is he looking, staring at the gearbox of that Alfa Romeo, looking for a bit of a better exit out of bus stop, which he seemed to get initially. 10-10 has taken fastest lap and has cleared Deflated by over a second already, meaning he won't be under threat down the Kemmel straight. So down toward they come. Joseph is catching. Joseph is catching well. And Joseph is side by side with Deflated. And into Malmedy now. A little left hand, a little right hander. Joseph still keeping to the inside. Be really, really patient to make a pass on this corner. To the side by side through No Name nearly. Joseph concedes, lives to fight another day, and Deflated. We takes position back on there. Now through Puon with these two. Ryan, of course, monitoring this very, very closely. Mounted again to that gearbox of that Aston Martin. Deflated in a slightly wide line into the chicane. Almost thought we were going to let Joseph in. There's so much more downforce on that Aston Martin. It is so clear to see. The only downside to that is the fact he can't seem to get a pass in that middle sector at all. So, Deflated, Joseph and Ryan all line of stern here. I think Ryan's going to be looking for a move in the moment. Deflated looks to defend the inside. Ryan's coming through. Oh, thought he was going to try it. Joseph's gone deep into the bus stop. Looked like he was disturbed almost by Ryan at the back end of that car. And Joseph, speaking of back ends of cars, has just found himself buried in that Alfa Romeo's gearbox around that source. That was clearly a bit slower than he was expecting. And obviously lives to fight another day. Doesn't seem to have got too much damage. That would have just been an inconvenient nudge there. And we've got position change between these three. Ryan has gone to the inside of Deflated, and Joseph, sorry. Joseph's holding on. Again, that downforce helping, a good dose of downforce and a good lot of grip through their common malady. Ryan and Deflated close together. Deflated's turn to lose 2 positions in a straight. Ryan and Joseph Hales both take him, and Joseph hangs on really, really well through their com. We are go again with this battle, and this time Deflated, I think, is starting to lose the back of it a little bit. Could end up falling into the clutches of Prev if he's not too careful. If he's not too careful with it. Ryan will be looking to hold on to the back of Joseph Hales and see if he can make a pass to second place. Of course, 10-10 is getting away in among all this. He won't mind all of this battling at all, but this is a brilliant spectacle so far through the sprint race. Ryan almost having a look at Joseph toward the bus stop. Joseph defended inside, gone in deep. Ryan's going to have a better run down the exit of the bus stop. Joseph gets a little bit squirrely on the throttle, and that is job done for Ryan for now. Looks like he has got that done quite easily. It's Deflated among others, has come into pit, and Sun God is in as well, so I think we could be on for an absolute comedy going towards the Alfa Romeo pit box there. See if there is a move on for Joseph for second place. Looks like he will slipstream Ryan down the Kemmel Straight, no worries at all there for him. And just clips into the inside of the chicane on that left-hander, but keeps position. I think this could be how we go for the rest of the race. See, Deflated Wee has taken a set of soft tyres and decided he's going to go to the end of the race on those. So we have 10:10 in the lead. Nearly 4 seconds up the road now from Joseph Hales. He's been battling Ryan. He's been battling Deflated Wee, who's come in as well. And Smaller Smiley is latching onto the back of this from last on the grid. He's up to 4th place already. And it's only just under 2.5 seconds between himself and the traditional podium positions there. TD is in 5th, and John has recovered well to 6th place. And he is hunting down that green machine in front of him at a fair old rate of knots. After a tag from Wiggles at the beginning of this race. And we have 3 into the pits. Joseph Hales, Ryan, Smaller Smiley, all into the pit box. Let's TD and John both go through. I wonder if they've got this right. There is a set of softs going on for Joseph. Ryan and Smaller Smiley still all line astern. They've all put a new set of soft tyres on. Deflated has got the undercut done on Joseph Hales. There's going to be a lap newer tyres, and it's going to get a little bit damp, remember. The track is going to moisten soon. And we have suddenly a 3-way battle. Adam has been cleared by Joseph there. Ryan has as well. Prev will be looking to get through, and Smaller Smiley, has he managed it? No. That Haas there, obviously on those older tyres, is back down in 9th place. We'll be seeing that Ferrari all through his mirrors in a moment. And now we've got Ryan being escorted by Prev through the last part of this lap. Obviously, of course, that's my forgetting. In this one, you do have to pit anyway for the sprint race. Numbskull me. But Deflated has got the undercut on Joseph, and it's 2 seconds between them. Still got the first 4 to pit, along with Adam and that guy there, who are still yet to pit. Got a new set of tyres. Wonder whether 10:10 could be in danger, possibly from Deflated on that strategy. It'll have had to have been a heck of an undercut to manage it, but 10:10 will come in. He will fit a soft set of tyres and should come out onto the track in the net lead, you would imagine. TD and Greg have both stayed out, so they will see it through. 10:10 versus Deflated. It's much closer than it was, but 10:10 still gets out in the lead. John has come in as well. But yes, we thought that was going to be thought it was going to be close, and it definitely is much, much closer. Deflated's within a second of the Mercedes. Another couple of tenths, and that could have been rather close going toward Lecom. That was the brilliant strategy call by Deflated to jump ahead of these drivers. Ryan is still obviously holding on to 6th there. Got a good high position. That's a net 4th for him at the moment, which is very, very good on the return to IIRL. First race since season 3 for him. He has taken Padge's McLaren to a place it doesn't often go to. And Prev there is obviously sat in 7th. Smaller Smiley crawling all over the back of that Alpha Tauri. Both of those in the sprint race points at the moment. But one to pit and the other on a medium set of tyres. And Greg has been taken by 10-10 on those fresh softs. And Deflated will not like that one bit. Deflated is possibly going to end up behind Greg for a little bit unless that AlphaTauri peels off into the pits, which it hasn't yet. And the pole stays out for another lap. TD is being reeled in by 10-10 here as well. It's worth noting. And Deflated makes that pass nice and easily through Last Source. Down to the inside. Greg loses another position on there, but will keep DRS at least to try and keep with Deflated. I think those tyres will be hurting now. That guy's come in for a set of hards. That guy's got a hard on. And there's Greg challenging Deflated. And again, Deflated won't like that at all. Deflated has lost the position on the Kemmel Straight. It's been slipstreamed. He's going to throw it to the inside here of turn 8. He's done very, very well. Next one is No Name, and he is well ahead of Greg on that one. I think he needed to get that one done fairly quickly. TD loses position to 10-10. Around poo on there. Let's say those old mediums starting to hurt a bit now. Wonder if they were expecting a bit of rain and possibly some intermediates, those two, but don't think it's going to get that damp. It's looking like a better call for those who've used the usual dry strategies. We've then got Ryan hunting down Greg, and this then is a net third for him. Joseph Hales obviously has taken a time penalty in among all that, as has Deflated Wee. So this could be all change at the end of the race, but Ryan obviously is going to be the next one to hunt down Greg, who is still out on those mediums. John is taking the fastest lap, 43.3. He's currently 9th place, but the field is very, very bunched up within that top 10 or so. Trev and Smaller Smiley going at it there. Smaller Smiley is halfway backed out of Eau Rouge and Radion. But we'll be looking at the back of that AlphaTauri with the intention of making a pass here. Goes toward the outside, but just been squeezed out of it by Prev. Under braking there. Prev braked in a straight line, but was on the angle when he braked. Smart racing there from the Dutchman. It's Joseph Hales is then having a bit of a ding-dong with him as we see rain starting to fall. Greg and Prev both within the same bit of track. Joseph Hales has been pushed to the outside. Greg struggled to keep it on, and Prev has tagged Joseph. Both are in the wall. Joseph has kept it going. Prev definitely has not. And it looked like, obviously, between the two of them, Joseph was off track, came back on. It looked a little bit naughty from both parties there. And among all that, Joseph obviously kept it running as in 8th, but John is up to 6th. Brilliant gain of position for him there. We've then got Deflated, TD and Ryan. Like a string of beads, those three. Coming up toward final turn. TD finally comes in with a good stint on those tyres. All 10 laps. And will come in to give it one more go on one more lap there. What sort of tyre is he going to be putting on? It is a soft. It is a slick tyre. And Ryan has got only one more lap as well to chase down Deflated. He just needs to stay within that within that 3 seconds. 3 seconds it is, to get a second place finish on his first sprint race back. It's definitely becoming a little more damp. There's definitely rain coming down. But I think it's going to be okay for these drivers who are on slicks at the moment. TD probably will benefit a little more. Prev goes off the track. TD takes him there. And so does Sun God. Next up the road for TD would be his teammate Joseph, but I don't think he's going to make 4 seconds to get within the time penalty. Joseph. John and Smaller Smiley quite close together here. Now the Haas driver seeking a good recovery drive here. But I don't think he's going to make it around Smaller Smiley for 4th. We have 10-10 coming through Blanchimont and down towards the bus stop. But 10-10, like I say, we've not had to mention too much after the first lap or two. Beneficiary of some good fortune with John. Was he losing out? But the Scotsman takes the victory in the sprint race. Deflated takes 2nd, and Ryan takes it from him on the line with the penalties. John comes through in 4th. He's nipped through on Smaller Smiley on the line. The Ferrari driver takes 5th after starting from the back as a very, very good recovery from both of those two. And Novi comes up in 6th there. Good start and the best, or one of the best of the alternate strategy runners. Joseph in 7th after a chaotic race, and TD after doing 10 laps on a set of mediums in 8th. That rounds out the points for sprint race. 2 AlphaTauris, Greg and Prev, 9th and 10th. Prev had obviously a bit of an eventful one toward the end of the race. And obviously, that was a bit of crazy. Both the Williams have obviously been... yeah, both the Williams have retired from that race. TD trying something different, he did. Obviously gets a point for it. It's a good return on an alternate strategy like that. So it's 10-10 on the top step there, and that will do it for the first of the 2 races we do tonight. Just need to get everything all set for the second one. Those celebrations all go through, let's say. So the 10-10 will take top points from the sprint on there. We come down to the bottom, and obviously it was both the Williams, as I said, who DNF'd that. Sun God, as he was dropped to 11th place after penalties there. Adam managing to get ahead of that guy on debut there, but obviously was still teething his way into league racing. Obviously, very good racing from Ryan and very, very good recoveries from John and from Smaller Smiley there. Smaller Smiley from 16th on the grid, coming up to 5th place and having it taken from him in the last couple of corners by the Haas driver, who is a certain contender for the championship at the moment. Throttle stuck. Is anything going to go right, or was that another Twitch? Smaller Smiley. Okay. So obviously now we get everything set up for the Grand Prix proper. This is just a few moments while we get this all done. We obviously have to set all the grid for the race. Already something going off about that final lap incident in the midfield as well. Be something for the stewards to go for on there. They will have a bit of work. Keith doesn't mind work. he complains when he doesn't get work, so he'll be okay with that. But that's a big incident toward the end. Getting everything all set. Wiggles joined back. Whether he's quite got through or whether he was going to come back at all. Okay, so all Smiley has given us the go ahead. We are getting ready to get going again for this race. We are going minus Mr. Wiggles this time by the looks of it. Just a few seconds before we get going. We'll have a short break before we then get everything all done there. They will have some time to choose the setups and to load strategies, things like that, races, and then we should be underway. Oh dear, this is something else now. Already trying to tempt an old driver back into the league. On the Discord was some terrorising going on with a driver who could rival the likes of 1010 and John. It would be for the good old days, as it were. It looks a little bit gloomy here on the track. Anyone with a weather report? Anyone?
I'm not superstitious, but in the long and fruitful history of F1, no one with the surname Hill has ever failed in winning a world title. For example, Graham Hill, Damon Hill and Phil Hill are all previous world championship winners.
And anyone, any predictions in chat at all? Take some predictions from you there. The 10-10 will start this one on pole, so yeah, big kind of big chance for him to really extend this lead in the championship. John will be looking to carve through quite quickly indeed, I would say. Looks like it could be, or could well be, danger for John if he can't dispatch a couple of players or a couple of drivers within this first couple of laps or so. The touch and go for him, but it's all going to be dependent on this first lap for the Haas driver. Going in about 3 minutes' time. Of course, this is the chance for drivers to get a comfort break and all that sort of thing. So if there's anyone needs any snacks, etc., now is your time. We are dry all the way. Thank you, Greg. So obviously, it's looking a little bit gloomy, just kind of foreshadowing a bit this one, but it should be a good race getting going here in a few moments' time. So, obviously, of course, let's say we do have a fair few races left of this championship. Yeah, let's say when you reach round 13, it's not the home straight anymore. But we do have. Let's see, obviously, it should be. Where is Zandvoort next week? Yeah, Zandvoort for next week's, and obviously Italy and Singapore are the next two. So Monza, then Singapore circuit. As we are as far as the state of the championship goes. Still got 10-10 at the top, leading from John. The gap before these races was 11 points. Obviously John, I think now they're looking to limit some damage there. Deflated, I think, was still in with sort of half a shout, let's say 33 points difference between himself and 10-10 before things got going today. We are looking obviously quite close with those there. It's the Mercedes who currently have the constructors as well. The 62-point gap down to the Williams of Ross and of Wiggles usually. House, John and Deaton find themselves 81 points adrift. We're away for the formation lap in preparation for this race. Ryan has got a big chance to lead into turn 1 here. As has deflated by evidence of the last one. We can get just as good a start as what Joseph did. We could be in for another fun round of going 3 wide through La Source to begin with. Okay, the driver's getting everything all warmed up and ready to go. With these, everyone except Greg starting on the medium tyres today. So Greg is the one outlier. Could have a little bit more pace about him later on in the race. Taking the pain at the start to hopefully get some gain a little bit later on. The rest of the drivers all on mediums, so maybe this could be a slightly more relaxing race than what we first thought. There's the formation that makes its way through Francorchamps now. We'll be lining them up on the grid. All ready to go. Shouldn't be too far out, like we said. Obviously, Greg with the hard tyres. Obviously, Ryan and Deflated with a good chance to attack 10-10 down into that first corner as he positions his car ready for the race start. And in the last few getting themselves all together. Jay Clates, being the 15th driver on the grid, lines himself up. And we are good enough ready to go. Here go the lights. There's 5 red lights. And away we go. For this Belgian Grand Prix. 10-10 gets a good start and cuts off the line from Ryan. No such flying starts like we saw from Joseph in the sprint. It looks like Ryan has held on to second just about. He and Deflated going side by side. 10-10 looks to be getting away a little bit though. Deflated gets that position from Ryan, wrestles it from the McLaren early on. Rev and Novi swapping back there, but we have Deflated being tailed by Ryan and from John as well. As that Haas goes through, but Ryan looking to hold it, just goes a little bit wide through the second part of Le Com and loses it through Malmedy to John. Good progress early on from the American. And smaller Smiley looking out down the inside. Ryan obviously just hasn't quite got those tyres lit up. To begin with, in the early part of this race, he is down to 5th, 3 places in 2 sectors. Not even that. The McLaren driver has lost, and Deflated is looking to get toward 10-10 now after losing a bit of margin trying to battle Ryan for that second place. Could be a real go at this there. Joseph obviously I think has broken the margins again, as has Domingo Eagle by the looks of it. He currently finds himself behind a driver with whom he got very, very much up close and personal at the end of the sprint race. The Dutchman Prev is there, and all looked like that was... Prev was ghosted, thankfully. Looked like he'd sent himself way off into the bus stop chicane. Lost a heap of time, Joseph Hales, as he gets his 6th place. And it looked like TD had a real chance to get hold of that 7th, but we'll have to wait around for another. Will he get a chance going toward Eau Rouge and Radion? Will he have to wait it out until the Kemmel Straight? He's tailed him well, and that is a car that's gone well off by the looks of that. Is that guy? It looked like somebody went well off. Right, we're all still running here. I'm not so sure what's going on there. There's a bit of a glitch in the game. I did think I saw someone go straight on at the top of or at Radion there. So Joseph is still going. Prev is still going after that bit of an error into bus stop. Domingo Eagle already has taken a time penalty. The smaller Smiley is looking to keep toward the back of the Haas driver, John there. The Ferrari driver clearly got a bit of pace in this one. Ryan, I think now that he's got those tyres lit up, might be having a slightly better time of it in the McLaren as well. The top three have spaced themselves out a bit. It's what's going on behind that is of interest to us at the moment, and what is going to be the most interesting part. Deflated has disconnected. So backwards goes that Alfa Romeo. That is unlucky on Deflated to depart. Smaller Smiley inherits the third place. And back he joins. And find himself down fourth, maybe even fifth if he's not careful, if his AI isn't careful. Smaller Smiley is hunting down that Haas. Looking further back through the pack there. TD has finally dispatched Prev. Ryan has managed to get through Deflated before he's rejoined there, and Joseph almost welcomes him back. He's gone side by side through the long right hander. There's a touch, and Joseph has been welcomed back. He is retired, he is out, and that is a VSC. It's a crazy little move. I suppose it was on with Deflated having only just regained control of the car, but that's a bit of a shock to the system for the Alfa Romeo driver, no doubt, to have a car down the side of him at that particular corner on the track after having just got back into the game. And obviously after a touch there, Joseph has sent piling into the wall nose first, and that signals the end of what was quite a promising race for the Aston Martin driver. He spun into him. Did look a little bit, like it was kind of contact from the outside, to be fair. But as I say, it would have been a shock to the system. Everyone, of course, staying out here by the looks of it. I don't think we've got any early pitters there. As the VSC goes, we are green again, and Smaller Smiley is lurking on the back of John with a real chance to get past him for second place here. See just what he can produce. Good exit through Radion. He should have this done fairly early on. Smaller Smiley blitzes the Haas. Clearly running some slightly lower wings there, I would imagine. There's the Smaller Smiley. Good pass there. Gets that bit done just after the VSC. Second place from 16th at the very beginning of the night. Adam next into the Steward's Black Book for time penalties. Track limit warning. One too many for him there. Do have Prev and Greg following each other, the two AlphaTauri drivers as well. And so those two will be looking to stick to each other. Ryan, I think, is next to get toward the back of John as well. Could be quite interesting. I was wondering whether Smaller will end up being the cork in the bottle, or whether he will start to get away. I think John was looking. As we go through Blanchimont toward bus stop here, John's definitely having a look. My theory of the slightly lower front wings from earlier might well have just been dispelled there. Smaller Smiley's been dispatched, and John does get the DRS as well. But Smaller Smiley will have a chance to get this back down the Kemmel Straight, provided he connects it well. As we have a yellow, I think the final sector cleared up quite quickly on there. I think it was Jay Clates. 3/10 margin to Smaller Smiley for John. And again, he's blitzed down the Kemmel Straight. A little bit further down, but he's still been utterly blitzed. Nice and easy for him there. Adam disconnects. see whether Smaller Smiley can keep that position a little bit longer than what he did on the previous lap. We have TD and Novi quite close together as well. The Aston Martin and the Alpine there, as Prev ends up backwards, and I think Prev has done a naughty there. I think I saw a reset to track movement there. That was a touch naughty, Prev. We saw you, naughty boy. Sun God reaching the back of Flamingo Eagle. You have Uzi going back toward the top order, Smaller Smiley, followed by John still, followed by Ryan within DRS. And Ryan, I think, will be using that just to reel these guys in a little bit and hoping they fight a little bit more for now. Smaller Smiley obviously isn't going to be the one to have the DRS advantage down toward the Kemmel Straight this time. Unless John produces something spectacular, of course, but it looks like the Ferrari driver is now taking his turn to be the one under threat. 1010 probably hasn't got away from these as much as he would have wanted either. About 2.9 between Smaller at the moment and 1010. Now going to be John though who blitzes through. Gets that done nice and easily. Ryan again just looking to reel him in a touch, but has dropped out of DRS. I think that is Jay Clate's round at last source. So John and Smaller Smiley obviously have swapped places again. TD is getting a little bit further away from Novi this time. Flamingo Eagle and Sun God quite close together, and Prev is out. Prev is out of the session. And we have a safety car just as that guy was about to take Jay Clates down the Kemmel Straight. I think that's gone at leg com, and that is a full course safety car. Now, could that force any early pitters, I wonder? I'd imagine that guy would come in and get rid of those soft tyres. Is anyone else going to chance it for a free stop? Follow them round. Obviously 10-10, as I say, the leader. Need to take too many risks here. But Mylander waits for the pack. What is he going to do? 10-10 pits. As does the rest of the field by the looks of it. John, Smaller Smiley, Ryan, deflated all in. TD's got the pick of the pit box. He's coming as well. Novi in. Greg stays out. Obviously on those hard tyres would have expected that there. Novi is in. Flamingo Eagles stayed out because it's his teammate occupying the pit box right now, and Sun God has come in. And I would imagine Deflated will have vacated the area just before he comes in. Lovely. Adam also in. Jay Clates hasn't yet made it round with that guy. As I said, I would expect the McLaren driver. He hasn't come in. Oh, okay. Again, another naughty boy moment, I think, there. He's come in belatedly. We've got a real kind of cocktail of tyres out on the out on the track now. We've got obviously Greg on his hard tyres, so he will obviously be the one when Burnt Mylander decides he's had enough. He will lead the pack away. John and 10-10 both in there together, obviously on a fresh set of hards each. Flamingo Eagle on those slightly older medium tyres, having not pitted there. Novi obviously was not too far ahead of him, so didn't venture into the pit box to wait behind him. Smaller Smiley, obviously again on a fresh set of hards. Ryan came in and put a set of softs on, so there'll be another stop for McLaren driver at least. Deflated on hards. TD on softs as well. Again, trying something a little bit different for him. Already got 13 runners left in this race, so there's not going to be too many who don't score points. Novi is 9th and Sun God is 10th. Both of those on a fresh set of hards. Adam came in for a set of softs. And Jay Clayton and that guy have both taken a fresh hard as well. So we do have 3 drivers. As I said, on a new set of softs there, so obviously opting for a 2-stop. And just 1 medium on a car, Flamingo Eagle 6 lap, old ones from the very beginning of this race so far. The pack is rounding itself up a little bit. I'd imagine Burnt Mylander will have another lap at this point. Okay. Let's say just a little bit of time before we then get going again. 1 more lap behind that Aston Martin safety car. So, okay, 1 more lap for everything to warm up or cool down. A little bit weaving going on there. You would imagine, obviously, on the restart, possibly Greg and Flamingo Eagle on those older tyres are going to end up going backwards fairly quickly. Interested to see what the what sort of progress those on the softs end up making. As I say, I think TD and Ryan, obviously those two especially, could be fairly dangerous in this particular point in the race. So I would imagine this would be the end of Burnt Mylander's tenure leading this race after this particular lap. Ready to go again here at Spa-Francorchamps. As we said, it will be the pole in the AlphaTauri, Greg, who will lead us away. There goes Burnt Mylander, and Greg takes the pace. Waiting for the safety car to come into the pits, and then he can decide when he wants to go. He's completely his call on when he drops the hammer. We run through Longchamp now. And Mylander is entering the pit lane. And that Aston Martin. It is now Greg's call. He's already left 10-10 a little bit behind him by the looks of that. No tyre warming or anything going on from a little bit there from the AlphaTauri to get himself going, but the pace is reasonably quick, and as I say, he has left 10-10 rather far behind. He's dropped it, and away we go. He's already built a second to 10-10. So from the exit of the bus stop, 10-10 is getting it back. Greg has done well on his restart there, definitely on those old hard tyres. He's done exactly what he would have wanted to have done. Left a nice big gap back to 10-10 and John. And I hope that those two fight it out a little bit before they get to him. Though there's clearly so much more grip as they came up to Roy Rouge and Rally on. Smaller Smiley manages to dispatch Flamingo Eagle, and Ryan's going to give it a go as well. They come through, definitely good move there. Deflated's going to be next up to try and round the outside. And he's managed it around the outside of Malmedy and TD as well. Flamingo Eagle has had it in reverse since that restart. Down to 8th place from 4th. And you'd expect him to go backwards a bit with those mediums on. And John and 1010 both have dispatched Greg now as well. So that was a well, a key point for 1010 and John definitely to get Greg out of the way on those older hard tyres. Make sure they don't get hold up behind him for too long. Smaller Smiley almost coming up to the back, almost running into Greg a bit there. Round to the outside of Blanchimont. Love that move. And it's a good one at that from Smaller Smiley. Ryan has also followed him in. And Ryan has managed to get it done through the bus stop as well on those soft tyres. So much more grip on all four corners of that McLaren at the moment. Very, very good pass on there. And Greg, as I said, is also in reverse now. I think TD will be next to get rid of him, and this will feel very, very slow for him through Eau Rouge and Radion. Looking right at the back of that Alpha Tauri as we have a battle for the lead going on. John and 1010 side by side toward they come. 1010 later on the brakes, rides it through. John's got a little bit skiddy on the curbs there. I think has possibly bottomed out slightly on that slope. It ended up not quite taking the lead, but that was a chance there for the Haas driver. TD has taken deflated. He's gone up to 5th place there, and he's on the charge. Will be looking next at the back of Smaller Smiley. Ryan also has taken Smaller Smiley, just to note on there, and he is flying towards the back of this lead battle on those softs. You can get rid of these fairly quickly. That is a magic strategy call. There we go. Let's see. Indeed. Smaller Smiley's lost a second already. Adam again is in the steward's bad books. TD, I would imagine, would dispatch Smaller Smiley on the next lap. But there's going to be a three-way battle for the lead here. 1010, John and Ryan all going at it. As we come across the line to finish lap 10 in this Grand Prix. Is he still 1010 holding the lead? DRS is online now. That will only help John just to defend from Ryan there. It's all going to be on the exit of Eau Rouge and Radion. See what they can get out of it. John is stapled to the back of that Mercedes this time. He's taking the outside line again and has filtered through rather quickly and easily. Ryan is having a look. Doesn't go for it in the end. But we have a new leader in this race, and John has recovered fully from that incident in the sprint. Comes up to take the lead of this race. Have TD and Smaller Smiley now both together. TD didn't manage to get the Ferrari down the Camel Straight. To sit behind it for another lap. Or try something slightly ambitious. Slightly wider on the apex. Don't know whether he's possibly getting to that sort of bit of a wary phase that you tend to get on these soft tyres. The deflator could possibly have a chance of getting this one back on TD. Meanwhile, we do still have 1010, Ryan and John all together on track. Track it on the other cam through the trees. Ryan has been able to go so much later on the brakes with the grip in the car. Almost running it into the back of 1010. And is Deflator going to get anything moved on TD? Not quite yet. Well, this is the top 6. Separated by what must be, let's see, not a lot of time at all. You've got 3 seconds in it between a lot of them. We have John followed by 1010, who is hunting him down. Was getting there but didn't quite get there quick enough, and TD has managed to dispatch that Ferrari of Smaller Smiley. Nothing doing for deflated wheel around the back of the Ferrari either, but a good one for TD, and he could be on for podium if things fall his way. As Greg and Sun God are side by side around the long right-hander. Greg in the end being the one to back out on those older hard tyres. Respect for keeping it in and challenging there. Very, very good there. Not moving, not rolling over and getting out of the way. Good competitive racing from the pole. John still holding the lead of this race. 1010 and Ryan in hot pursuit though. TD now, I think gap has drifted a little bit from Ryan. I do wonder whether TD possibly is losing those soft tyres. A smaller Smiley has a look into the bus stop. Doesn't get anything done. And we have Flamingo Eagle out. And that is another full safety car. Another full safety car on track. Burnt Mylander won't make it out. Sun God comes in and is caught speeding in the pit lane. But he won't make it out before John comes through. So this is going to be very, very interesting to see what goes on here. We are looking very, very close to obviously the window where people will want to get rid of those soft tyres. That should be rather convenient for anyone who wishes to do that. Greg has been in for a fresh set of softs that I think he is possibly hoping we'll see him to the end. It'll be a little bit of an extension to do that. Sun God has come in for some mediums, which should definitely see him through. And that guy is also on a set of softs. Jake Clates on some mediums, and Adam is at the back there. I think has been released on a used set of mediums by the looks of that. Greg has picked up a penalty. Oh no, he picked up a penalty whilst under safety car. That's not a good look. Obviously for these drivers we have seen such a deficit already, obviously on the on used hards against even the new hard compound tyre in the first safety car restart. We saw Greg go flying backwards. We saw Flamingo Eagle on the mediums end up going very, very backwards very, very quickly. He has obviously since retired from this race. What is everyone going to do? Into the pits come the drivers. 1010's got a penalty for speeding in the pits, and that could be race defining. The Scotsman has come in too hot. Ah, wow. And that is the absolute worst time to get one of those. So John leads by a net 5 seconds to his championship rival 1010 now. And that Mercedes driver knows exactly what he's got to do to grab the win on this race now. He has got to dispatch John at the earliest opportunity and pull 5 seconds. The American's not going to let it go easy, but Scott's going to have to give that a go if he's going to have any chance of winning this race. Even to salvage some good points in the podium. Ryan is going to be crawling all over the back. TD will be crawling over the back, and so will Smaller Smiley and Deflated Wee. There is a cracking battle brewing for the lead. It is at that stage where anyone without a time penalty could win it right now. As Deflated's taken a slightly unorthodox line. No, that's this is going to be an interesting end of the race. Everybody pretty much got a mini sprint all on its own. So obviously we do still have Adam sitting a little bit off the back of the pack, so I can't imagine that Burnt Mylander will get us going just yet. He's coming still through Banya, where the rest are up on their way towards Blanchemont. Might be one of those awfully late calls, but I think it's too late to make even one of those now. We'll have another lap behind the safety car. Lap 15 will be spent at our old friend Burnt's leisurely pace. Well, comparatively. I know he's giving it everything in there. I intend to see as much of the safety car as what we have in this tier as well, so I know slightly out of character races for this tier. But it only makes for more excitement from the neutral perspective. And we are looking, as I said, at least a 6-way battle for the lead, maybe a 7-way battle for the lead. Be interesting to see whether there is any drop off on those softs towards the end of the race. John this time, who will then lead us away from the clutch of the Burnt Mylander when we get that chance to escape them. Sort of safely making their way. So you'd imagine those soft tyre runners would get away quite quickly and easily. Novi I think is going to be a good contender on those mediums, possibly might throw a little spanner in the works. The Sun God as well did pit early, only got it up to 8th place. We've only got 2 drivers who won't score any points in this race who are still running. Adam and Jay Clates, those at the moment. As I say, Jay Clates should be able to get those mediums quite comfortably to the end, can push a little bit harder. The only one on those soft tyres will be looking just to hang on to them at the very end, I would imagine, but they've got all their work to do right now. Safety car will come into the pits. So again, we await the driver to get into the pit lane. Novi has hit deflated by the looks of that. And among that gaggle of cars, deflated, let's say, looks like he has definitely been tagged there. That's a 5-second penalty for Novi. Whether that will come off on the steward's review is anyone's guess, but we are away. John has gone and he has dropped 10-10 a bit there. Again, that's an absolutely ideal safety car restart for the American as we get going again. 7/10 already in it as we file through toward La Source. And that's a very, very good safety car restart. Spot on from 10-10. Or from John getting away from 10-10 there. TD is hunting down Ryan as now going down the Camel straight. We do have that guy and Sun God changing positions. And we have Ryan behind TD now. TD has got the move done for 3rd place, net 2nd on this race here. Ryan has been demoted to 4th. Smaller Smiley also is in 5th place, had a little bit of a battle with deflated, but ends up keeping his build position at 5th. 10-10 has got toward the back of John there, only down to about half a second. He's got to absolutely pin it and hope 10-10 now. Ryan looks like he is tracking the back of TD quite well. As he then goes off wide. and shaping up really quite nicely. I think obviously TD and Ryan is going to be probably that close battle at the moment by the looks of it. The Aston Martin driver will be looking to hold on to his podium at least there. 10:10 takes the fastest lap moments after what John did. It was a 43.6 to take his purple there, and that will give 10:10 the extra point at the moment. That will be no consolation to him if that 5-second penalty ends up costing him the win. We have got Deflated eyeing up a move on Smaller Smiley now. Smaller is at least to break the toe, defending the inside, keeps hold of that rather nicely. Nothing doing until the DRS gets in by the looks of it, and Greg maintaining position ahead of Sun God just there. Just need to push ahead quite nicely. Those softs that for now are doing a job for the drivers who have put their trust in them. 10:10 again, just pulling in a little bit more from John's gap there. TD still leading from Ryan at the moment. This will be interesting when we get the DRS on. See whether we get a few position changes in there. Like I say, TD and Smaller Smiley look like they could be under threat, I will probably say. And John in his on-track position at least could be under threat as well. We just need to keep 5 seconds, or within 5 seconds of 10:10 to manage to keep the lead of this race and keep the victory. The rest of them are getting away from, yeah, those two are getting away from the rest of them quite easily there though. There's a bit of a gap forming. We have the 3/10 between these two drivers in the lead two positions going up the hill and up toward the Kemmel Straight. 10:10 pulls up alongside John and rifles past him for the lead. And Ryan, sending it deep into the comm, nearly getting a move done on TD, but TD holding it around the outside. I don't think he was expecting a move quite like that from Ryan. Deflated has also taken Smaller Smiley for 5th place. Again, these guys all on the same tyres as top 6, the same age of tyre. It could yet be all change again, as it is at the moment. 10:10's penalty will take him down to 3rd. Ryan, I think, was no, let's say sorry. We want to take him down to 6th place. So Ryan obviously is keeping toward the back of TD again there. It's kind of like we've got a couple of mini battles coming on. Ryan is going to have a look to the outside of the bus stop. Thought better of it. Lives to fight another day. TD defending it well in the darkness and gloom of Spa-Francorchamps. We have 4 racing laps remaining, and the lead two are going to be going at it again, but look at this queue forming behind the green machine of TD. Ryan, Deflated and Smaller Smiley all queuing up for a pass. Ryan's got a track limits penalty, and John retakes the lead down the Kemmel Straight under the DRS. Ryan comes up for 3rd place. See, his time will be plus 3 seconds later on. TD, Deflated, Smaller Smiley, and 4th, 5th and 6th. Ferrari driver not managing to pull a move on the Alfa Romeo just yet, but it's going to be interesting with Ryan's penalty. Then that will drop him a fair way down the field. Well, we'll not be ahead of 10:10 as it stands. Navy obviously hasn't quite made any progress on those mediums, but seems to have held ground quite well. Might be interesting to see, as I said, if these tyres start to drop off for the leaders or whether they will be able to keep them going. Deflated. And TD and Smaller Smiley all in that queue behind Ryan now. You do still have the lead too that you can throw a blanket over them there. They come in toward the bus stop. And 10-10 with a big input of throttle out of the final corner. Looking like the rear end was gone. Just about keeps it in a straight line there. Doesn't lose too much time to the car ahead. And Smaller Smiley shaking around, looking to free himself from the clutches of deflated wee. 10-10 will be looking to trade places with John again for the lead. And he has done that. Ryan gets another track limits penalty, and it's all going from bad to worse for him now. As TD empties his battery, Deflated has left the session again. And that could have taken him out of contention for at least a podium there. I have to hope he gets on very quickly there. TD pulled the move on Ryan. Smaller Smiley has got Deflated, obviously, as you would expect with an AI car driving. Deflated back in. But Smaller Smiley then only 3/10 off of Ryan, as it is at the moment, looking for 4th place. Could, if it was to end now, even get a podium off of 10-10. 10-10's penalty there, Smaller Smiley, but it's going to be close for him, and he needs to get around Ryan with those penalties and get toward TD. TD, speaking of the devil, is being passed around the outside of Blanchimont. Oh, big skid in there from TD. Halfway through the corner, big skid in his pants as well, no doubt, I'd imagine. That's the kind of moment that makes you take a bite out of your seat, that. He's slid at 180 odd mile an hour through Blanchimont. That would have been a scary little moment. Ryan obviously got the move done. Sticks into 3rd place. And we have John and 10-10 trading again. Somewhat inevitable now, this, isn't it? Lead change every single lap down the Kemmel Straight. Ryan and TD. And obviously Ryan ceding position to TD again. That guy and Greg also changing positions. As that guy, though, had a massive snap on the exit they come through Malmedy. Hasn't quite managed to... Oh, yeah. Greg hasn't quite managed to capitalise on that. And we have one off, and it is that guy. He's gone in at the same point that Joseph retired at. It's just a yellow. Not going to be any safety car at this stage in the race with just over a lap to go. And TD is next to get a track limits warning from the stewards. Now, could that cost him a shot at a podium, I would wonder? Will Smaller Smiley be licking his lips and thinking, this is 3rd place and this is all mine? Seems to have dropped Deflated since the disconnection. And we'll have one more lap of this. John leads at the beginning of lap 22. We'll have one more run down the Kemmel Straight to contend with. We've got a queue of 3, TD, Ryan, Smaller Smiley, all going for that 3rd place on track. John, though, looks like he's dumped his battery. And will keep position ahead of 10-10 to keep 1st place as it is on track. Ryan has gone through on TD, who looks like he's looking vulnerable to Smaller Smiley behind now. Novi up in 6th place there. Looks like he has taken a position from deflated. 10-10 crawling over the back of John through Pouon at the double gauche. And we have that guy off again between Malmedy and turn 8, that long right hand corner at Bruxelles. There's smaller Smileys. TD takes a wide line through the right hander. We're going to have Smaller Smiley having a go at TD. And Smaller Smiley takes position on track. John and 10-10 coming to the line now. And John will take the victory here in Belgium for another one for the American. 10-10 comes through in second on track, and Ryan isn't close enough to move anything around. Well, I'll tell you who is. Smaller Smiley takes the podium from TD and from Ryan. 3rd place for the Ferrari driver. Deflated 4th after a couple of disconnections in the race. TD 5th and Ryan 6th, with quite a lot of penalties added for Ryan. Novi in 7th, Greg in 8th. Sun God came in 9th place there. And what a mad race. It's a bit crazy that 10-10 has done enough after all of that to keep a P9 or P2 there. It's a crazy one that you would expect a 5-second penalty with all those guys in and around to have harmed him a little bit more, but he's ended up on the second step still. And it is Smaller Smiley, as I said, who capitalises from a couple of other penalties around him to take a podium position. And it is John, our IMSA staff member, who has taken the win tonight. Well raced by everyone who's obviously finished that there. Bit of a battle in the end of it, and Jay Clates has ended up taking a point from that as well, by the way. Salute to you, Jay Clates. Fantastic stuff. It is John your winner. 10-10 second after the penalty still, and Smaller Smiley taking our podium place. Deflated 4th, TD 5th, Ryan 6th, and Novi in 7th place. Greg holding on for an 8th place. Sun God 9th, and as I say, Jake Clates rounding out the points. That guy after a couple of spins on the final lap in 11th, and Adam on league racing debut, taking 12th, finishing off the race. Finishing in a race like this, though, has proven difficult, but it has been a brilliant little race for some people there. First no assist podium of the season for Smaller Smiley. Congratulations. Congratulations, everybody. Brilliant race that was to watch. As I say, uncharacteristic somewhat of this tier to have so many safety cars out. Fulfill a quota for the season, I think, there almost, but it's a brilliant watch from a neutral perspective. So say again, well done to everyone who finished that one. So obviously, of course, we've got a couple of other races this week, as always. We've got AT1 and AT2 to do it all again on this here. AT2 possibly with a slightly altered format depending on how the Grand Prix in real life goes. So obviously AT1 will be Thursday night. So, and then AT2 for Sunday, as I say, just after the real life Grand Prix in Qatar. So we've got those to look forward to for the rest of the week. We'll be back in for Zandvoort next week. That's obviously 10th of October, this time next week. So we are waiting for that one for this tier. But for me for tonight, that is all. Have a good rest of your week, everyone, and we'll catch you on the next one, okay? Good night, everybody.